Okay, you guys see the thumbnail, you see the title, we see Sonic, we see Nintendo, guys. I shouldn't have to say it, but this is definitely going to be juicy. And none other than Dr. Bob to bring it home for us, man. He ain't missing, and he definitely won't miss with this one. I'm pretty sure this is going to be hot. So with that being said, guys, I never even thought there would be, well, I should have this in the back of my head, but I never figured Nintendo will be part of the SCP universe. But goddamn, the SCP universe is so vast, so I couldn't really put it past them, but I'm excited for this one because this seems like it's going to be something a little bit deeper than what we expected, because this is going to be SCP-674 The Exposition gun makes Nintendo real life. So pretty much it gave us the whole gist of what this SCP is going to be about. A gun that could, you know, I'm assuming shoot characters and bring them to the real world, 2D to 3D, who knows, but yo, we're going to find out today. So with that being said, if you guys are excited for this reaction and you do enjoy it along the way, like clockwork, you know the routine, smash that like button. Let's try to get at least 150 likes on this one. I'm really trying to push this out a lot sooner because one, I got time today. I'm free this weekend, and also this looks too spicy to hold off, so you already know the vibe. I'm trying to bring it home for the fam. So also hit that bell so you do not miss an upload. It really helps grow the channel and pushes my content out to more people like you that might enjoy my reactions. So I do appreciate you guys doing me that solid and smashing it. So with that being said, I hope you guys all enjoyed this reaction, and I can't wait no longer, so let's just get this party started. Alrighty, SCP-674 The Exposition gun makes Nintendo real life. Let's go. Let's see what stops Sonic in his tracks. Like, honestly, it's Sonic, guys. It gotta be hot.
Uncle S is the worst. Always has been. Every time the two of them go over to his house, he just sits in his room all day on his computer. He doesn't talk to them, just grunts occasionally, and never cooks them any food.
Damn.
The siblings have learned at this point to tell their mom to pack them lunch. Worst of all, though, Uncle S is just a little strange. He has all these posters up all over his house, some of them with underdressed ladies on them. The brother's little sister always covers his eyes to stop him from looking.
I thought it was gonna be something deeper, but come on. This guy gotta be more than just a creep.
But there are other posters too,
Okay.
weirder ones, with these symbols on them and quotes written underneath. Neither of the kids can really read enough to know what the quotes mean, but their mom always gets very tense whenever they ask about them.
You guys can't read? How old are you? What? Y'all don't look that young.
She says they are something to do with politics, whatever that means.
Oh, they probably just don't understand where it's coming from.
You know someone's weird when even their mom agrees.
UFOs.
Uncle S is just weird. But there is a big upside to being at his house. The two of them can just sit downstairs in the lounge playing video games. He's got a big TV and a bunch of different game consoles.
PS5? Denny? What the hell? And an Xbox.
Most of which are older than the two of them. This week,
Oh, Dendy. Or whatever that's called. Reminds me of Wendy's.
he's even got a new box next to the TV. It's full of old wires, controllers, and games. And when they say old, they mean old. It all smells of dust. The brother reaches inside and pulls out a big gray box. The top half of it is lighter gray, and the bottom darker. There's some red writing along the front of it.
Nintendo.
He carefully spells it out in his head before saying the words out loud. He doesn't want his little sister to know that he struggles with long words.
Aw.
Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah, this kid was definitely born in the 2000s. Because there's no way you would not know how to say Nintendo. Like, that's like a staple, a household name. Like, come on, man. Nintendo.
His little sister huffs and sits on the sofa. She doesn't want to play that stupid thing. It looks old, and the dust is making her sneeze.
Oh my god.
This whole house is dirty and gross. The TV and games consoles are the only nice thing in here.
That Nintendo is probably worth more than those consoles too. And old consoles are, you know, going up in the years. Like, for example, I saw one time I went to this game store, a regular Game Boy Color was renting for almost $200. Like, crazy shit.
Why would she want to play with the gross one? The brother ignores her and tries to plug it into the TV.
Smart.
Wait, where's the HDMI on the back of this thing?
Come on, man. It's a Nintendo. There's no HDMI.
He gives up pretty quickly. On the sofa, his sister switches on the TV and grabs the Xbox controller. The familiar Cuphead music fills the room. They turn it down quickly. Can't be annoying Uncle S, who's sitting upstairs on his computer.
Uh-oh.
Why does she always want to play Cuphead? It annoys her brother so much.
Cuphead?
They can't even beat the first level. It's way too hard. She chooses...
My brother plays this. That's... My friend plays this, but I never played it before. I think it was playing on the Switch too.
Messages 2-player and Cuphead and Mugman both appear in the field, Sunflower Men parachuting down around them. "You're up," the announcer yells on the screen. His sister starts running along as Cuphead, but bumps into the end of the screen.
Uh-oh.
They need to both play together for this to work, but the brother isn't interested today. He reaches into the Nintendo box and rummages around, finding something that fits perfectly into his hand. Something with a trigger. No way. He pulls the strange toy gun out of the box and holds it in the air triumphantly.
Yo.
It's gray, matching the NES console, with an orange trigger and the word Nintendo written on the side in that same red writing.
Okay.
A cord dangles out of the bottom of it. Immediately, he spins around and points it at his sister and shoots. Nothing happens. No noise, no lights. She just sits there and scowls at him.
Shoot out Cuphead.
Fine. He gets up off the floor and grabs the second Xbox controller. They run past the Sunflower Men and shoot the toadstool, but die at the first purple flower. Great.
Really?
The boy is sick of this game. He doesn't want to keep playing it every week. He wants to play with the gun. Imagine what games he could play with that. He picks it back up. Cuphead and Mugman respawn, and the music starts over again. Very carefully, he peers down the barrel and takes aim at Cuphead. He squeezes the trigger. Bam! A puff of smoke, and Cuphead turns into a red ghost, pink heart beating. Wait, how did that happen?
What the heck?
His sister didn't run into anything. She yells at him. That wasn't fair. The brother is very
Aren't you surprised how Cuphead died? You're really gonna just think that's not fair? I'll be freaking out if I was her.
confused. He looks back down at the gun. It wasn't even plugged in, and it wasn't an Xbox gun. So, how come it worked? He points it at Mugman and shoots. Bam! Another puff of smoke, and Mugman's ghost floats off the screen. The menu pops up, and the brother hits retry. The level starts again. The music kicks off, and the announcer yells, but Cuphead and Mugman aren't there.
They're gone.
His sister wiggles the stick a few times. Nothing. The characters don't appear.
In the living room?
What are you doing? Keep playing, she yells at him. But the brother can't see any characters left on the screen. Why is she pretending to see them still? Footsteps creak the floorboards above their heads. Uh-oh. Now they've done it. Uncle S appears on the stairs, scowling at them both. Immediately, each sibling points at the other one and blames them. Uncle S doesn't say a word. Instead, he glares at them as he walks over and snatches away their controllers. He turns and goes back upstairs.
That's it?
No more video games. No fair.
I'm surprised he didn't grab the gun. I'm assuming the uncle's not aware about this SCP. So
The two of them slump on the couch, arms crossed, not saying anything. The NES Zapper sits between them. Looks like they'll just have to watch TV instead. It's the brother's turn to choose something.
NES Zapper.
He goes on Netflix and puts on Avatar: The Last
God.
Airbender, her least favorite show. The opening credits roll, telling them all about the Fire Nation's attack. His sister snatches the gun up from the seat and points it at the screen,
Ew.
aiming at all the characters that pop up. Her brother ignores her. She's just being silly again. The episode starts. Aang is in a city in the Earth Nation, walking around a market surrounded by...
Okay.
His sister squeals. He looks at the TV, confused. Nothing has really happened. The characters are just standing around at the market
Just
talking.
Cuphead over there?
But his sister stares at the screen wide-eyed, almost a little scared looking. What's she doing? She points at the screen in amazement and says that Aang is dead. She pointed the gun at him and shot, and now he's dead. Yeah, right. Aang is perfectly fine. He's standing right there talking to Katara.
Oh, okay. So we've seen it from the other perspective. So I'm assuming that the sister grabbed the gun, shot Aang, and now she can't see it, just like how the brother shot the Cuphead guy, and the sister was able to see Cuphead, but he wasn't able to.
The brother snatches the gun back and fires it at the screen. Bam! A gunshot rings out through the town square, and Aang crumples to the ground. Katara screams and runs over to him. She tries desperately to wake him up, but there's no use.
Bro.
He just lies there dead in the square.
So this works for other characters that are not within the Nintendo franchise.
No blood, of course. This is a children's show, after all. Katara starts sobbing desperately and looks imploringly at the screen. The brother's mouth hangs open. Seriously?
Sure
That's how the
too.
show ends? He thought there were a bunch of episodes left. How are they supposed to defeat the Fire Nation now? Who'd be the next Avatar? He looks over at his sister. Her mouth is hanging open still as well.
Oh, goodness.
Very hesitantly, he raises the barrel again and takes aim at one of the market stalls. He pulls the trigger. Bam! A watermelon explodes into red mush.
Jeez.
The characters all jump back and run for cover. Sokka peers out from behind one of the
Oh my
carts,
God.
staring straight at them before ducking away again. This show is weird. I don't want to watch it anymore, the brother says, throwing the gun back down on the sofa and pressing back on Netflix. He's going to pretend like that didn't happen. His sister snatches the remote out of his hand and goes across to HBO Max. She puts on Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. That's a safe option. They've seen every episode of that. No surprise endings, no characters dying, and most importantly, they both like it. The episode opens the same as it always does. Roadrunner is out running around the canyon. Wile E. Coyote has a new plan. He's going to paint what looks like a tunnel into the side of the cliff and make Roadrunner run straight into it.
Classic.
Foolproof. But suddenly, his little sister has snatched the gun up off the sofa and is firing it here, there, and everywhere at the screen.
Dang.
But that look of horror is gone. She's laughing. No fair. He can't see what she's enjoying so much. It's just a normal episode. So he snatches the gun back from her and points it at Roadrunner. He squeezes the trigger. Bam! But Roadrunner just sidesteps the bullet and gives his trademark meep meep. He fires again. Bam, bam, bam! But every bullet seems to miss Roadrunner entirely.
So Roadrunner's self-aware about the gun. Or that's just part of his character. He's never caught, really, so.
Who dashes off into the sunset as out from the bush creeps a very injured Wile E. Coyote. Bullet wounds all over his body. He scowls at the brother and trudges off down the road, walking straight into the fake tunnel he painted. After a moment, the brother breaks out in laughter too. This gun is amazing. What should they watch next? Who have they always wanted to shoot? What if they shoot a hole in the dome around Sandy the Squirrel's house?
Bro.
Or kill the Shredder?
Oh, wow.
Could Sonic outrun a bullet? Or what about all those silly children's shows his sister watches? Could he finally get those characters to stop singing all the time? He's laughing so loud, in fact, that he doesn't hear the footsteps coming down the stairs.
Oh, goodness.
He doesn't realize Uncle S is there until the shadow falls over him. Having fun? The brother tries to explain as best he can, but the gun is already out of his hands. The TV is off, and the remote disappears into Uncle S's pocket. In a grump, the two children sit there bickering quietly until their mom comes to get them an hour later. That evening, Uncle S is doing the same thing he always does. He lies on the couch, feet kicked up, instant ramen in his hands. The news is on, running a lame story about the president visiting some kindergarten in the run-up to the next round of primaries. What a joke. Uncle S lies there seething, thinking to himself, as if that guy cares about any of those kids. If he did, he'd be clamping down much harder on the borders to stop foreigners from coming and ruining their futures. How are these true-blooded Americans going to have any chance in life when their own country is being overrun?
Is he going to shoot him?
He switches over the channel. There's some cartoon playing. He hates cartoons even more. He holds the NES Zapper aloft. He's been carrying it around all afternoon for some reason.
Wait a minute!
Wait, you hate cartoons, but you have so many consoles?
Really makes you think.
I'm just going to keep pushing. That doesn't make any sense.
Imagine if it was a real gun. Without thinking, he points the zapper at the TV and pulls the trigger. Bam! A gunshot makes him jump out of his skin. Was that outside? He looks back at the TV.
Did you hear the sound?
The cartoon character is ducking down at the bottom of the frame,
No.
a bullet hole in the wall behind him. Oh, thank God. He was just in the show. Not a real gunshot. The character wags a finger at the screen. Careful now, the character says. If you keep doing that, the SCP Foundation is going to come and get you. SCP Foundation?
What the hell? This guy just broke the third wall. Yo.
Sounds dumb. This is why he doesn't watch cartoons.
Oh, my
Animation is
goodness.
for kids. He flicks back over to the news. The president is still surrounded by children. Imagine if he could just point this gun at the president, right between his smug little eyes. Gently squeeze the trigger and... bam! The shot makes him jump so violently that he spills boiling
Did it
ramen
connect?
all over his chest. He howls and leaps to his feet, trying to shake all the noodles off. Great, that was his last t-shirt.
Let's
He's
see
been
the
wearing it
president.
for 4 days now. Didn't even need to wash it yet.
4 days?
What was that noise, anyway? He glances up at the screen, and his jaw drops. The President of the United States is lying dead at the front of the kindergarten classroom. Blood trickles out from under his body. Secret Service agents swarm around him, shielding him from view and yelling at the cameraman to shut that thing off. The news cuts back to a distressed anchor. She's trying to talk, but is so overwhelmed by what she's just witnessed
Yeah, it's
that
over.
the words aren't really coming.
What the
A
heck?
breaking news headline crawls across the bottom of the screen. Breaking, the President of the United States assassinated. No way. Uncle S drops the gun and stands there panting. He didn't do that, did he?
So much power.
No, of course he didn't. That was a coincidence, all it was. Just a coincidence.
Honestly, if you think about it, now that it's not just about Nintendo characters, it's anyone on TV, because the brother tried to shoot his sister, nothing happened. So, straight up, this just looks like a gun version of Death Note. Like, if you guys are familiar with Death Note, I'm sure you guys are. This is pretty much what it is, but a lot easier and a lot less traceable, too.
If it was real, then he would point the gun at the anchor right now, pull the trigger, and bam! Her head rocks back. Blood sprays the back wall of the newsroom. The feed cuts out, and an ad break starts. It's some stupid infomercial, only the actors in it keep glancing nervously at the camera and slightly hunch behind tables and objects when they get the chance.
Yeah, I would not want to be on TV anymore, honestly. You guys are all going to be targets.
Uncle S just keeps standing there staring at the screen all the way through the night. 2 weeks later, Uncle S is running out of food. He ran out of ramen a couple of days ago, beans yesterday, and today he's having the last scraps of moldy bread. He hasn't left the house in all that time.
Ew.
He can't anymore. He's the most wanted man in the United States. Every night, the news is the same. His mugshot was plastered on the screen appealing to friends, families, witnesses, anyone to come forward and identify this man.
How did he get caught?
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Yo, did I miss something? How did they find out he's the one that's killing these people on TV? That doesn't make any sense.
Somehow, nobody has yet. His sister tried to call a handful of times, but he didn't pick up.
Unless he told a friend about what he did, and that friend told the FBI or the police, and now they're looking for him. But why the heck would he? I don't know. I want that to be explained low key.
Before long, he just disconnected his phone line entirely. The silence is better, helps him focus on his work. He's drawn up a list. In fact, he'd started to draw it up before he'd ever discovered the gun. On it are the names of every politician, business owner, media puppet, fake news spreading Illuminati shill he can think of.
Death Note. I was right, man. We got a modern day Kira at our hands, man. Light Yagami making a scene.
He just sits there hopping between TV channels, gun at the ready. He's got his laptop down here too.
YouTube?
And he just spends most of the day searching through YouTube
I don't know if I'm safe now. Yo!
for different videos of people he's been wanting to kill. He'd be lying if he said there weren't a few annoying YouTubers that had made the list too. You know the ones he's talking about. The world is starting to fall apart out
talking
there.
about me.
With the president gone, along with half of Congress and most major propaganda peddlers, it's all starting to unravel, just like he'd always wanted. The military is being drafted in to suppress riots across the country,
My God.
but doing little to contain it all. Random shootings keep breaking out, leading to more and more chaos. It will be painful for a while, Uncle S knows that, but in time, they'll learn their lesson. He just wonders how long he'll have. He can't keep getting away with this forever. Something's gonna give soon. It's got to. They have his mugshot, they have his name, and yet, no one is surrounding his house.
That's what I'm saying. How do they have your information? For real, like if they have your information, why aren't they going to your house? But straight up, I just want to know how they got it. Doesn't make any sense.
He knows that because he set up webcams all around the perimeter of the house. He has the live feed open on his laptop. If anyone comes within 20 feet of the property, they're getting a neat little hole in the front of their head and getting the back of it blown into 100 red, pink, and white chunks to give his weeds a bit of iron.
Oh my God.
In fact, he knows they'll be on their way soon. He knows that because some rat from his blog will have told them. He's been documenting everything on here. Masking his IP address first, Uncle S has been recording and boasting about each and every kill anonymously as
Stupid.
green text. At first, he kept it coy, writing in riddles and rhymes about the public figures he was murdering. But now, he is up to such a high tempo that they're just a bullet point list of names. Of course, his posts have all been flooded with trolls acting like he hadn't done anything at all, pretending like the president is still alive, along with
God.
everyone else. Photoshopping screenshots to make it look like they were getting new photos of these people. Great trolling. They almost had him
horrible.
doubting his own eyes at times. But every night, the news channels didn't lie. Another 232 public figures dead, shot through the head by an unknown gunman. But tonight, they'll be coming for him. The SCP Foundation. They'll be on their way. The characters on the TV have told him all he needs to know about them.
Oh, wow.
He can't hide here forever.
So I guess the characters are helping him out? But he's the one killing you guys, low key. What's...
He almost wants them to come, really.
really
He
cool.
very explicitly made a threat tonight. A threat about a deadly surprise under the stadium at the Super Bowl. They're not going to ignore that. Any moment now. He's ready for the shootout. He has his webcam set up to cover every inch of his surrounding yards.
Let's see it.
Any SWAT team or SCP agent that gets close will get gunned down immediately. Their only option would be to hit him with a drone strike, and what a way to go that would be. No one would ever forget him. He'd be a martyr for the cause. They'd build statues in his honor. He licks his lips and stares at the feed. Nothing. For almost 45 minutes. Nothing.
So no one's coming?
There.
Uh-oh.
A shadow crosses the corner of the frame. Then another. A gun points into the shot.
Shoot his hand.
They're here. A team of them by the looks of things. He can see their shadows lining up along the sidewalk out by the front of his house.
It's over, buddy.
He'll wait. He's gonna wait for them to all line up nicely in the shot, then open fire. He's been practicing so much that his aim's gotten pretty good. Clean shot to the head, one by one. Now. Bam, 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 bam. The gunshots ring out one after the other as he fires at the laptop screen. He catches each of the SCP agents cleanly through the head.
Yo, he's
one
actually
after the
hitting
other.
them.
A couple break for cover, but there's no hope. Bam, bam, bam. He picks each of them off. He makes sure to shoot the last man in the leg and sits quietly for a moment, watching him crawl across the lawn.
Bro.
Uncle S raises the barrel and points it at the man's head. He squeezes the trigger. Crash! The front door flies open, and Foundation field agents flood his house. But how can that be possible? He just killed all of them outside the front door.
Was it fake?
He watched them die.
Or they tampered with his cameras.
How are they still here? He looks incredulously out of the front door into the yard. No blood, no bodies, no evidence of what had just happened. The SCP agents swarm around him, guns raised and barking orders. He snaps back to reality and panics, throwing his arms in the air and letting the toy gun drop limply to the floor. I did it. I killed the President of the United States. It was me. He starts crying as they handcuff him and press his face into the carpet. The agents question him, confused. What is he talking about?
Maybe this is all in his head. That's wild. Maybe none of this is even happening.
The president is alive and well. He's in the middle of his next election campaign, doing better than ever in the polls.
No wonder the people on the blog post were saying it's fake, because he's still alive.
I killed them. I killed them all. It was me. Again, the agents are perplexed. As the uniformed men drag him outside and throw him into the back of the van, he can't help but wonder why everything seems so peaceful out here. Where has his apocalypse gone? The doors slam shut.
Wow.
In this moment, I am very much hoping that no one viewing this video is in possession of SCP-674, or an equivalent weapon currently unknown to the Foundation.
Let's hope not.
You see, while SCP-674, otherwise known as the Exposition gun, poses no threat to me in the real world, it could have a nasty effect on your perception of reality. The Exposition gun appears to be an entirely normal Nintendo Entertainment System Zapper. As far as the Foundation can tell, it matches up perfectly with other models released in North America from around 1985. You can take the Zapper apart, examine each plastic and electronic component individually, reassemble it, and you will fail to see anything out of the ordinary for this video game peripheral. And yet, if you were to hold this gun up to your screen right now, point it at me, and fire, you would hear a gunshot ring out and watch me collapse in my chair, dead.
It's finally
For
gone.
the rest of the duration of the video, you would watch me sit here in silence. Videos would continue to upload to this channel. Each of them would probably just show my corpse as it slowly rots away in this chair. To anyone else, however, it would be business as usual as I uncover more horrifying, unnerving, fascinating, and bizarre tales from the SCP Foundation.
That makes total sense.
The Exposition gun
No
only
wonder.
works on its user, forever altering the reality they perceive through whichever digital screen they fire at. If they shoot the president, as Mr. S did, then in the continuity of any news program they watch, the president will forever be dead.
That makes sense. I should have remembered about that part when the brother and sister was together. We were able to see, okay, one person is seeing something that's normal, and obviously this person's seeing something different. But when it was just the uncle, we weren't able to see that side of things of like someone saying, wait, the president's still alive. Like, what are you talking about? We all thought it was real because he was the only one in the room.
The same applies to fictional shows as well. If the main character dies off, a sidekick steps in to take their place, and the story changes accordingly. It is to be noted that each show or movie follows its own internal logic, however. The children were unable to shoot Roadrunner because he always gets away. But in classic cartoon fashion, all of their missed bullets ended up hitting a very forlorn Wile E. Coyote. In this context,
That's cool,
however, the gun was proved not to be fatal, as in the universe of that show, explosions, electrocutions, falls from cliffs, and drownings can never kill the coyote. so of course a gunshot would be no different.
Oh, that is actually really interesting. So it matters what roles in that universe that you're applying that gun to. Wow, this SCP has a lot more layers to it.
What is most interesting, however, is the gun's apparent awareness of the SCP Foundation.
Yeah.
Users who fire the gun into the camera frequently will find characters soon breaking the fourth wall and warning them to stop it soon for fear of being caught by the Foundation. Perhaps most chilling and still unexplained to this day was Mr. S's ultimate demise. Between rounds of questioning, he was locked in a cell with a lone security camera watching him. Mr. S was observed conversing with the camera frequently, apparently hearing replies, though none could be heard in any of the recordings.
Still?
Over time, these debates grew more and more aggressive until, all of a sudden, he was shot down in his cell. Researchers and agents rushed in, but were too late. 3 .38 caliber bullets were lodged in his chest, with no evidence of a shooter in sight.
What?
The man died on the scene, and researchers have since been wary about experimenting too much with the exposition gun.
Yo, is there a price to pay when you use that gun? Okay, this really does sound like Death Note low-key. Like, you know how you use the Death Note, at the end of the day, the Shinigami's gonna take you. Maybe in this situation, he's obviously talking to the essence or the soul of the exposition gun because it still has a connection because, you know, he used it. And I guess this was his time and maybe he was like arguing with him and somehow, some way, it took his life. Because those researchers that came in, it wasn't just one person seeing him get killed and everyone else seeing him still alive. Everyone saw him get shot down. So, yo, that's wild.
If you want to support this important mission...
Over? Guys, I wish this wasn't over. This seems like it could just still go on for another 20 minutes, honestly. Like, this was actually spicy. I want to know more. Like, how did that dude die? Like, is it what I said? My own hypothesis about this SCP, how, like, it might be the connection of the exposition gun. How else would he get shot down? And there's so many similarities with Death Note. I'm sure there's a few other similarities. And also, if you guys actually read the file of this SCP, let me know if there's any answers to the questions I have in this video, because I'm very, very curious. And off rip, I'm probably going to read the file too, because damn, this one was really dope. I really like this one a lot. So with that being said, I hope you guys all enjoyed this reaction. If you guys did, please smash that like button, smash that sub button, and hit that bell so you don't miss an upload. Unfortunately, that concludes today's episode. However, I'll catch you guys on the next one.